Hello everyone and welcome to the 5th episode of my Control playthrough. In this episode we're going to find Dylan, Jesse's sister, the protagonist right here. And as usual, all audio recordings and file readings will be at the end of the video for those who want a little bit more of the Control lore and story. Without further ado, let's get back into the game.
Containment sector. Panopticon. Altered items. Maximum security prison. Dangerous.
This place certainly seems important. Oh shit. Oh, those are baddies. Okay. Oh, oopsie daisy. Did not mean to press that. Okay. Now that that's over with, that was kind of tough. Okay, let's do this. Let's cleanse it. Alright. Everything as it should be. Oh, this is the way I'm supposed to go anyway. Okay. I remember this. Oh shit, I pressed the wrong button. Oh shit, no, I don't want to press G, I'm gonna press... Damn. Oh shit. Are they coming for me? Ah, yes they are. Single file, everyone. Oh my god. When does it end? How many can there be? Oh my god, there's a thing there. Okay. Guess that answers some questions. Like, where are they, though? Where does this end? The music's not stopping for some reason, and I don't know why. Ah! Oh my god! Thank you. Jeez, give me a heart attack. All right. This is definitely the security sector.
P6 is what the Bureau calls Dylan. His cell's been breached. Has the Hiss found him? Are you there with him? Can you protect him?
Time to go, I guess. Uh-oh, there's Dylan. Was that screaming? coming from that room? That's terrifying. Don't go into 223, I guess. Oh my god, I forgot about this. Okay. So, we need both doors open, I believe. That's the second one. This one seems to be right side up. Okay, so. So radio should be on the left. Chair out. Plant away from notebook. Nothing about this one changes, so it must be the next one. Okay. This needs to be right set up. Maybe there's something different about this. Oh, it's right set up again, okay. Good.
It's been a long time since Dylan and I knew each other. I've wondered about him. What kind of man he'd grow up to be. Were things as hard for him as they were for me? Maybe in here, they were even harder.
Oh, hello. Is there something I can help you with?
I'm Jessie, the new director. I need to get inside.
New director? Right. Well, okay. Hello, I'm Frederick Langston, the Panopticon supervisor. It's not the best time for a tour. We have hiss everywhere, numerous cell breaches, and system failures across the board, but you're the director, so here we go. Founded by Zachariah Trench, the Panopticon is our state-of-the-art repository for all altered items.
I don't have time for
objects
this.
of Power and
I was told Dylan Faden was kept here. Can you help me find him?
Faden. Sure. Darling wanted him somewhere secure and isolated away from people. He's in the maximum security cells, upper level. But there's currently a pressing matter, ma'am. We've got an object of power loose in there. It's wrecking the place. The Benikoff TV. It's a real doozy. Salvador took a team in to handle it, but no one's heard from them for hours. This is a Category 5 OOP we're talking about, and if we don't contain it soon, it will tear the Panopticon apart. And we don't want all those altered items getting loose, ma'am. No, trust me.
Dylan's in there.
Open the door, Langston. I'll handle it.
If you say so. I usually tell first-timers not to touch anything, so, just do that. Here, I'll get the door for you. And please, ma'am, call me Fred.
Thanks, Langston.
Alright.
You guys didn't bring, like, checkers or anything, did you?
Any active duty security personnel found engaging in non-sanctioned leisure activities will be relieved of duty pending review, sir.
You could have just said no.
The Panopticon. Dylan's close. But that object of power might wreck this place before I find him.
4th floor. And how does one get to said 4th floor? Ah.
Something went wrong with the Bureau's plan to make Dylan the next director. Marshall made it sound like it was all Dylan's fault, but how much of it was what the Bureau did to him? I don't think she's telling me everything.
Guess we'll just have to wait to find out, huh? How exciting. Okay, that's scary.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I guess I'm here.
What are you doing in there?
Oh, thank God! Look, someone has to watch this object at all times, or it deviates. My shifter blades have never showed up. Can you help me?
Damn.
I can't, I'm sorry. There's an emergency. I'll come back, I promise.
Okay, just don't forget. I can't stare at this thing much longer.
Okay. I want to get Levitate first before I do that. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, here goes nothing.
That's the object of power. I need to cleanse it.
Well, that's probably not a good sign. We can't, can you? What about these ones? Okay. Okay. Oh my god.
Thing was Salvador, the head of security. His team didn't stand a chance against the Hiss.
Yeah, I guess
No
not.
one here does.
Okay. Bitch.
Okay, dealt with the TV. Now I can find Dylan.
Oh shit!
Dylan. He's so close.
Yeah, this probably ain't good.
Hello. Are you there, Jesse?
Emily? He's gone. Dylan isn't here. He might be nearby. Or maybe the hiss got to him. I don't know.
Jesse, listen. Dylan's here. With us. He just walked in. He says he is giving himself up. He's been affected by the hiss, but he is different than the others. We must isolate him.
I'm on my way. We need to get back. I have to see my brother.
Dylan Faden observation. Restarting that part. Federal Bureau of Control. Dylan Faden daily observations. Confidential. 9:30 a.m. Breakfast is brought. 11:54 a.m. Gets out of bed, uses toilet, returns to bed. 11:57 a.m. Asks for television to be turned on. Staff do so. 12 p.m. Lunch is brought. Breakfast is removed. 12:02. Eats lunch. 2:38. Uses toilet. 4:03. Begins talking to self. Recording speech is not possible due to noise from television. 4:07. Becomes upset. Throws lunch tray at glass. 4:09. Sedated. Crew clean the cell. Television is turned off. 6:12 p.m. Restarting that sentence. Comes to. Asks for television to be turned on. Staff refuse. 6:16. Sleeps? Question mark. Television privileges were refused due to hostile behavior. Benekov TV. Benekov TV OOP7KE. Containment procedure. No unique containment procedures required while bound. Description: Para-utility. A CRT television built by Benekov and Sons Electronics. The screen is still functional. The object can restarting paragraph. The object can levitate itself off the ground to a maximum observed altitude of blank. When bound, the object allows para-utilitarians to harness this effect for their own use. See report blank for the results tested with prime candidate blank. The object is currently bound by blank. Background. The object was first discovered in a restarting paragraph. The object was first discovered in a local news story from blank Kansas. Restarting paragraph. The object was first discovered in a local news story from blank, Kansas. A figure had been seen blank over buildings. The Bureau dispatched agents to the town, who discovered that a man named Blank had bound himself to the object. Mr. Blank was detained, see case 39 HQ 656, and the object was brought to the Bureau for study. Ocelot's anchor, A111UE. Background. The crew of the White Ocelot first encountered a strange spherical phenomenon while fishing in the blank... Restarting paragraph. The crew of the White Ocelot first encountered a strange spherical phenomenon while fishing in the blank. Witnesses described it as a Restarting sentence. Witnesses described it as a black sphere with a faint light behind it. It hovered just off the bow of the ship. The crew blank by throwing a tin bucket which disappeared into the sphere. Soon after, the vessel lost structural integrity. The ship's metal rusted and fell apart within minutes. As the ship sank, the sphere lowered into the water. A passing fishing vessel called the Blank Rescue Restarting paragraph. Soon after, the vessel lost structural integrity. The ship's metal rusted and fell apart within minutes. As the ship sank, the sphere lowered into the water. A passing fishing vessel called the Blank rescued the 4 surviving crew. Agents were dispatched to the White Ocelot's last known coordinates, Blank, and began diving operations. On the ocean floor, the agents found the sphere. The ship was entirely destroyed except for its anchor. As agents lifted the anchor off the ocean floor, they noticed the sphere behaved in conjunction with the anchor, moving and stopping as one. Contact with the sphere was avoided, but handling the anchor proved harmless. The item was transported by the Blank to the U.S. port of Blank. Upon arriving in New York, it was brought to the Bureau via the Blank.
Alright, I won't take up too much of your time today, Dylan. Like I said, I want to talk about Jessie, your sister.
What about her?
I just want to get your perspective. What do you think of her? What kind of person is she? That sort of thing.
I adored my sister. When I was little, I mean. Back in Ordinary.
And you don't anymore?
When I first got here, sure. I'd always hoped she'd come too. Find me, to take me home. We went everywhere together. Why should this be any different? Casper said she could come too, to the Bureau. If she wanted to. But she never did.
Why do you think that is?
Because she didn't care about me. She always wanted to be out on her own, seeing the world. She always said so. I guess she got what she wanted.
Great. So, she wanted to see the world. Did she ever mention any place in particular?
Why?
We like to ask questions around here, you know that. Any particular cities, towns, landmarks, anything like that?
I don't remember.
What about family and friends? Were you close with anyone living outside of Ordinary?
I'm done with this. Tell Casper I want pizza for lunch today.
Dylan, wait. We're not... End of session.
Looks like you are done. You're done. You're done. I have that. I can go in there. Wait, don't I? Alright, let's go to the boardroom and meet with Emily.
The resonance emitted from the HRAs is purely antithetical to every variant of the Hiss signal it can arrange. But how did Darling create it?
He didn't. Redacted. Wait, that's a spoiler. Don't add that.
It's happening. After all these years, Dylan is here. But am I too late? How is he? I need to know.
He's clearly been affected by the Hiss, but it's different than any other manifestation we've recorded. Maybe what makes you so special is genetic. He was a prime candidate. Or maybe it's Polaris protecting him, something else affecting the situation. I need to run tests. He seems more in control, more present.
I want to see him. My brother. Or is he?
Of course. Now, Marshall set up an HRA-warded cage to contain him. It's on the upper floor, up the stairs.
Okay, I need to go.
Jesse, be careful. Jesse, when you were down in research, did you run into a Dr. Rhea Underhill?
I didn't. Who is she?
She is a colleague of mine. A researcher studying a kind of extra-dimensional mold growing below research.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
No one does. Look, I haven't heard from Rhea since the Hiss arrived. Would you mind having a look around for her next time you're in research?
Of course.
Thanks, Jesse.
What's new? I don't think I ever told you this, but I was actually on the path to being a ranger once. Did the whole boot camp thing. Even got rookie status. Anyway, not the point. My own ranger squad was a great bunch. There was 6 plus me. Remus, Hazard, Cho, Guy, Hepton, Stoll, and Thompson. They were supposed to get back from an expedition yesterday. We had beers and wings planned. Problem is, they weren't here when Darling handed out the HRAs.
Then they had nothing protecting them from the Hiss.
You see, they prepped for the worst, but I think that we're already past that. We all wore these pouches around our neck, and I really don't want the Hiss to get them. Could you find them for me? The squad would have come back through maintenance, but they probably spread out from there.
I'll keep an eye out for them, Arish. And I won't let them stay Hiss.
I have to go.
Me too. You're not the only one who's busy, you know.
Let's go check him out.
You are a worm through time. The thunder's home distorts you. Happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow and red in the eye. Through a mirror inverted is made right. Leave your insides by the door. Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been a near you. You want us to patrol. We stand around you while you dream. You can almost hear our words, but you forget. Through time, the thunder's home distorts you. Happiness comes. You are a worm through time.
Shit.
The thunder's home distorts you.
That's Dylan.
White pearls,
Can
but
you hear
yellow
me?
and red in the eye.
Oh, come on, Dylan. I'm here. I found you.
Into the way. You've always been a near you. You want us to patrol.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, you know me. Say it.
You are Dylan Faden's sister.
He's talking in the third person. Always a good sign. Do you know who you are?
Not Dylan. Trench and Darling made sure of that. I'm P6. P6. But I'm better now. The Hiss made me better. Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been the new you. You want this
Can you
to
stop
be
that?
true.
Please.
Not exactly the reunion I'd hoped for.
It feels good to say those words. I want to say them. They sound good. They make me feel good. Don't you want to say them too?
No. Fuck off, no. You need to help me get this thing out of his head. If he is still in there, if there is anything left, you have to help me.
You came in through the hole in you. We let you in. You've always been here. The only true. A copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Stop it!
Orange peel.
Shit. Shit. He can see you. This is not safe.
We found Polaris together with my sister when we were very small, in Ordinary, in the desert, through the door opened up by the slide projector. But she didn't help when Trench took me away. She didn't give me any powers. All the powers are my own powers. She didn't help when they locked me up for years. After the song time for applause, we build you till nothing remains. The air cracks and the truth will emerge out of you. You are home. The Bureau brought the slide projector back here with me. And the Bureau did what the Bureau does. They used it. And they found... They opened the door up to the hiss. That's the only thing I can thank them for.
There. There it is. We stopped the Altered World event in Ordinary when we shut down the slide projector. And now the projector's here.
An earworm is a tune you can't stop humming in a dream. Baby, 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 yeah. Just plastic. So safe. Nothing to worry about. Funny. I welcomed the hiss. I let it in. To get rid of her. The hiss set me free. Polaris is using you. The Bureau is using you. You are a puppet. You can almost hear our words, but you forget.
If we shut off the slide projector, maybe that will stop the hiss.
Your regulations.
Maybe it's not too late for my brother.
You must see the truth for yourself, Jessie. Sister. The horrible truth about the Bureau. The hiss is the better option. Go to the Prime Candidate program in the containment sector. I have the keycard to get you there. Salvador wanted me to have it.
Wanted? Bullshit. I saw what the hiss did to Salvador. What it turned him into.
Okay, Dylan. I'll go. I want to see the truth for myself.
I'll go. But only to look for the slide projector. You can help me. We can end this.
You are a worm through time. You are a worm through time.
Marshall, Trench's behavior. Have you noticed the recent tension between Trench and Darling? They've both been acting odd lately. Trench concerns me the most. His sudden hostility towards Darling's project is very unlike him. He was the one to approve all this Hedron research in the first place. But after Darling unveiled those HRAs, he was livid. I personally don't see any reason not to equip the Bureau staff with an additional protective device. Especially not if it's as strong as Darling says. What do you make of this? Have you seen anything from either of them that strikes you as odd? Let's talk in person soon, before the next Bureau heads meeting. M. Object and item distinctions. Examination of paranatural topics, object of power and altered item distinctions. Summary. While altered items and objects of power may seem similar at first glance, it's important to note some very key distinctions. Firstly, objects of power grant parautilitarian abilities. See file PUT 812 for an introduction to the subject. Secondly, objects of power translocate anyone who makes physical contact to the astral plane. This is widely believed to be due to the blank's affiliation with objects of power. Not every individual is allowed in the astral plane, which indicates the blank evaluates who can or cannot enter. Thirdly, and this is not always the case, objects of power are much more paranaturally blank than altered items. Looking at the specific criteria that defines an object of power, it is no wonder they are notably rarer than altered items. In fact, we have blank altered items for every object of power contained within the Bureau. Refer to file 529-9485 for full report.
Reminder, This week, any documents that suddenly appear pink, light red, or any shade in between must be incinerated immediately. Failure to do so will result in termination and possible bodily harm. Thank you for your attention.
Isn't that lovely? Mold autopsy. Autopsy report, subject blank. Summary. The deceased was a blank-year-old blank with no significant past medical history. The subject was brought in after being discovered in the active threshold in an early state of decay. This is characteristically fungal-based in its appearance. During autopsy, the cadaver's pleural cavities were revealed to be entirely filled with the fungus known as the mold, to an extent that medical staff were forced to put on decontamination suits. The procedure was also hindered by anomalies such as the deceased's high body temperature and undulating torso muscles, presumably but not probably caused by trapped gases. Routine samples, as well as tissue samples requested by Dr. Underhill, were successfully extracted. However, the rapid retrogression outside of the host's body needs to be noted. Cause of death, mold ingestion. Refer to file 594, 2716 for full report. Globe procedures. Wolf Globe AI-72PE. Containment procedure. No unique procedures required. However, contact should be limited as some report feeling disoriented after touching it. Description: altered effect. Item is handmade, set in dark wood. The item itself is lacquered, hand-painted, spins freely on all axes. While the continents and oceans are recognizably those of Earth, careful examination has revealed numerous blank and other geographic additions that do not exist on our planet. One of these islands has a city marked on it named Tanrielio. There are no signatures left by its maker. Physical contact renders subjects dizzy and disoriented, with some reporting a feeling of unfamiliarity with their surroundings. This effect seems to grow worse with prolonged contact, accumulating in a sense of listlessness and depression. Suicide has been observed in blank handlers.
August 4th, 1964. We discovered the oldest house while investigating a suspected altered world event case in the New York City subway tunnels. The agents found their way up into the building. Once we became aware of it, it was there. For the rest of the population, it was hiding in plain sight, a slippery blind spot, seemingly discouraging observation. It's a place of power, an ongoing AWE of its own, seemingly adhering to its physical outer constraints and yet constantly breaking the known boundaries of reality. It's unstable, shifting. Note, for more details on control points and the research and process to stabilize and secure the core sectors, refer to a separate presentation. After extensive research and investigation, the Bureau made the building its headquarters on November 13th, 1968. The Federal Bureau of Control was never out in the open. This was always an obfuscated, classified top-secret operation. So imagine our surprise when the building's observation-resistant aspects began in some unquantifiable way to affect the Bureau as a whole.
Let's talk to you. You got anything to say to me?
Is the TV back in its box yet? No rush or anything, it's just, you know, an ongoing concern.
Do you like working at the FBC?
Sure. I mean, yeah, the drama's a bit much, but I get better benefits here than I would over at the Postal Service. I checked. Better healthcare. That's not to say I don't like my job, ma'am. Been here over 15 years. No one knows the Panopticon collection better than me. I'm, close to them, in a way.
You?
I can't tell if that's creepy or normal here.
Right?
How do you keep the altered items under control?
It depends on the item. Each one has different needs. Ritualistic touches go a long way. Singing to them.
Did he say
Flipping the
singing?
lights 3 times, that sort of thing. It's not superstition if it works.
What's the difference between objects of power and altered items?
Think of them like storms. Objects of power are like tropical cyclones or hurricanes for the uneducated. They're big, rare, and scary. Of course, directors can just bind the OOP and become the eye of the storm. Altered items are more like weird thunderstorms. Some may rain frogs, some may rain corn, but they all rain something.
And how does the hiss factor into all that?
It's changing them, making them aggressive. Now they're all raining, I don't know, knives. Knife rain.
Nice metaphor.
Did you work closely with Trench?
Oh, he spent most of his time with Darling and all them. The inner circle. Not that I care.
Trench certainly had his favorites.
He did stop in occasionally to scowl and smoke. Did you know the Bureau has a no smoking policy? It does. Just not for Trench. Still, he is the one who put aside funding for the Panopticon. The man did have vision.
How did you get this job?
Started as a junior agent because my uncle knew a guy. From there I got put on a desk until an accident left the containment sector severely understaffed. At which point I got bumped up to management. Put in a steady 8 hours a day for another 10 years and voila, supervisor.
I just picked up a gun. Or a gun picked me.
I'll see you later, Langston.
I'll be here, like always.
Dylan Faden Observation. Federal Bureau of Control. Dylan Faden Daily Observations. Confidential. 9:30 a.m. Breakfast is brought. 11:54 a.m. Gets out of bed, uses toilet, returns to bed. 11:57 a.m. Asks for television to be turned on. Staff do so. 12 p.m. Lunch is brought. Breakfast is removed. 12:02. Eats lunch. 2:38. Uses toilet. 4:03. Begins talking to self. Recording speech is not possible due to noise from television. 4:07. Becomes upset. Throws lunch tray at glass. 4:09. Sedated. Crew clean the cell. Television is turned off. 6:12 p.m. Comes to. Asks for television to be turned on. Staff refuse. 6:16. Sleeps? ? Television privileges were refused due to hostile behavior. Benekov TV. Benekov TV OOP-7KE. Containment procedure. No unique containment procedures required while bound. Description: Para-utility. A CRT television built by Benekov and Sons Electronics. The screen is still functional. The object can levitate itself off the ground to a maximum observed altitude of blank. When bound, the object allows para-utilitarians to harness this effect for their own use. See report blank for the results tested with prime candidate blank. The object is currently bound by blank. Background. The object was first discovered in a local news story from blank, Kansas. A figure had been seen blank over buildings. The Bureau dispatched agents to the town, who discovered that a man named Blank had bound himself to the object. Mr. Blank was detained, see case 39 HQ 656, and the object was brought to the Bureau for study. Ocelot's anchor, A111UE. Background. The crew of the White Ocelot first encountered a strange spherical phenomenon while fishing in the Blank. Witnesses described it as a black sphere with a faint light behind it. It hovered just off the bow of the ship. The crew blank by throwing a tin bucket which disappeared into the sphere. Soon after, the vessel lost structural integrity. The ship's metal rusted and fell apart within minutes. As the ship sank, the sphere lowered into the water. A passing fishing vessel called the Blank rescued the 4 surviving crew. Agents were dispatched to the White Ocelot's last known coordinates, blank, and began diving operations. On the ocean floor, the agents found the sphere. The ship was entirely destroyed except for its anchor. As agents lifted the anchor off the ocean floor, they noticed the sphere behaved in conjunction with the anchor. moving and stopping as one. Contact with the sphere was avoided, but handling the anchor proved harmless. The item was transported by the blank to the U.S. port of blank. Upon arriving in New York, it was brought to the Bureau via the blank.
All right, I won't take up too much of your time today, Dylan. Like I said, I want to talk about Jessie, your sister.
What about her?
I just want to get your perspective. What do you think of her? What kind of person is she? That sort of thing.
I adored my sister. When I was little, I mean. Back in Ordinary.
And you don't anymore?
When I first got here, sure. I'd always hoped she'd come too. Find me, to take me home. We went everywhere together. Why should this be any different? Casper said she could come too, to the Bureau. If she wanted to. But she never did.
Why do you think that is?
Because she didn't care about me. She always wanted to be out on her own, seeing the world. She always said so. Because she got what she wanted.
Great. So she wanted to see the world. Did she ever mention any place in particular?
Why?
We like to ask questions around here, you know that. Any particular cities, towns, landmarks, anything like that?
I don't remember.
What about family and friends? Were you close with anyone living outside of Ordinary?
I'm done with this. Tell Casper I want pizza for lunch today.
Dylan, wait. We're not... End of session.
I visited the quarry. What's the plan for all that black rock?
The Bureau has used Blackrock almost exclusively for containment purposes. I say, branch out. Instead of boxes, helmets. Instead of blast shields, knives.
Knives?
Yes, knives. So many combat applications. Slicing, stabbing, gouging. Sorry. I've been trying to get Darling to explore combat applications for years. I got a little excited.
Wow. I did not expect that from her.
Love her. She is so awesome. So funny.
This place is looking good. Arish is making real progress around here.
Right? This place is a fortress. And with him taking care of operations here, I can spend more time analyzing the hiss. I've been attempting to isolate and neutralize the hiss resonance in blood samples, but no luck so far.
So you can't reverse it?
Not yet, but perhaps reversing it is too simple. See, if hiss resonance can rewrite human genetics, then perhaps it's a question of rewriting the hiss resonance. In theory, that could pave the way for custom human genetic alteration.
I wonder how often the phrase mad scientist is used around here.
I like how enthusiastic she is.
How is HRA production coming along?
Better than expected. We've already made enough to get people out of a couple safe rooms. And they're here, alive, thanks to you. And we never would have lasted this long if you hadn't walked in those doors.
You deserve thanks too, of course.
We got this place up and running together, Emily. I should be going. Enjoy your data.
Oh, I will.
Timeline of events. Analysis of his threat, Part 4. Summary. To examine the invasion's timeline of events for possible patterns in his behavior. Establishing a timeline is difficult at present because of a lack of reliable communications between Bureau sectors and staff. Preliminary models indicate ground zero of the invasion is located within the executive sector. Once it becomes possible to interview surviving personnel, pinpointing the exact location should be feasible. Other outstanding questions that a timeline may help answer. How did the Hiss get past the internal lockdown? How does Hiss resonance advance through space, deliberately or uniformly? What is their ultimate goal? The outside world? A cross-dimensional destination? Or fertile blank for full report? Speech analysis. Analysis of a Hiss threat, Part 3. Confidential. Summary. If we understand the Hiss to be a force based on vibration and resonance, then perhaps their incantation, which is now the agreed upon term for their vocalizations, is an effort to express that resonance using human vocal cords and speech. Would there be a difference if the incantation were recited in a different language? The most common word used is want. Interestingly, every usage of the word is attributed to a you. You want to listen. You want this to be true. You must want these waves to drag you away. Are we the you the Hiss is referring to? Does the Hiss believe humanity, possibly all non-Hiss life, wants to join it, to be consumed by it? Is that its goal? The second most used words are though and time. Is this possibly the Hiss stating how they arrived here, or an indication of its age? There is clear intention in the words. Dismissing the incantation as nonsense, as some of my colleagues recommended, is beyond idiotic. Refer to file blank for full report. Linguistic ability. Analysis of the Hiss threat, Part 2. Confidential. Summary. Researchers were sent to transcribe the recursive chant repeated by the Hiss entities. In the interest of safety, this was done with non-aggressive floating Hiss entities. However, no distinction between this repeating phrase and the one repeated by the more violent Hiss entities has been observed. What is the purpose of this repeating string of words? Is this how the Hiss corrupts individuals? Does the chant produce a physical effect? Is it a message? An incantation? We were able to record a first-hand recitation of the chanting. See the corresponding audio record. Refer to file blank for a full report.
What's the deal with BlackRock?
Oh, fuck. Don't get me started on BlackRock. You know, ever since research found out that it blocks paranatural stuff, they have just been parading dangerous materials in and out of the fucking quarry. Fucking lab coats, man. Love making my job harder.
Sounds like there's some tension between departments.
Still, at least the quarry's got a good view of the night sky. You know, me and Salvador used to have after-work beers down there.
What do you know about Dr. Darling?
About as much as anybody, I guess. Head of research, loves to hear himself talk. All of those science types absolutely do. Now he's been acting a little bit psycho recently. Although HR told me not to use that word, so...
Everyone thinks finding Darling will lead us to the answers. But if he's completely lost it, then what help could he be?
You're security, right? Do you work with Rangers?
Not often. Rangers are specially trained in threshold reconnaissance and ground zero AWE response. Security is more interested in the dangers inside the Bureau.
They must see some weird stuff out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, every week they are tackling things that were previously unknown to the human experience. Most Rangers, they retire due to cognitive collapse. I looked up the medical definition. Not fun.
How does the Bureau handle thresholds?
Handle might be a bit of an optimistic way to put it. Marshall sends her Rangers in to map them, check growth rates, locate epicenters, take samples, measure stuff, basically.
Sounds like he's done his homework.
Now, down in maintenance, thresholds are used just like any other tool. Lab coats mine BlackRock from one, maintenance siphons water from another. We use it for pretty much everything, except drinking.
Why don't you drink it?
Do I even want to know?
Yeah, a lot of time we find these little chunks in it. It's pretty gross.
I didn't want to know.
What do you think of Marshall?
Marshall? Marshall's a fucking badass. Rangers could not ask for a better leader. She's a little, intense, but given the stuff she's seen, I'm not surprised. She does have a bad habit of disappearing, though.
Where does she go?
Last time she vanished, I did some digging into the security logs. I found camera footage of her entering the quarry. She was down there alone for days. Now, typically that's not allowed, but Marshall is kind of above the rules.
I wonder what she finds so interesting in the quarry.
I have to go.
Me too. You're not the only one who's busy, you know.
Television proposal. Television show proposal. Based on the success of America Overnight, we would like to propose the creation of a television series that presents superstition and skeptical thought as entertainment, in order to popularize these concepts among the civilian process and create less resistance to redirecting information regarding public paranatural events. We could also use a solid media outlet to test paranatural concepts on civilian audiences, seeing how they react to certain facts presented as fiction, in the event that the Bureau ever does decide to make certain realities public knowledge. There are various show licenses that we could purchase and reboot rather than starting from scratch. One particular property seems promising, especially considering its content and tone are precisely what we're looking for. It's called Night Springs and has been off the air for a few years now. Collective Unconscious. Examination of Paranatural Topics, Collective Unconscious. Summary. Collective unconscious is defined as a form of the unconscious that is shared in all human minds. From this arises unconscious knowledge linking us through our ancestral heritage. See Jung Report, page 12 through 34. Through this collective unconscious, we unknowingly attribute a series of images and archetypes to all elements of our lives. These archetypes are never fixed, but shift and change in tandem with our species and culture. This internal belief in the power of images shared by a massive population is blank in the creation of altered items and objects of power. The sheer amount of blank exuded is attracted to the best representation of that image, imbuing a single object with massive amounts of blank. Theoretically, places of power could likewise be formed by the simple power of sustained collective belief. Refer to File 541 7532 for full report. Pope's Promotion. Federal Bureau of Control Employee Report. Review. Dr. Darling has personally recommended Ms. Pope for a promotion based on her work ethic and assistance in advancing many ongoing research matters. See research reports, blank for breakthroughs resulting from her work. Recommendation. According to her colleagues, Pope has displayed a keen eye for detail and a quick grasp of paranatural concepts. She is professional and diligent, though some of her coworkers complain of social disinterest. The review committee approves this recommendation and promotes Ms. Pope to the position of research specialist. Sticky note complaint. To whom it may concern. In case you're not aware, something caused a sticky note in my office to duplicate. My office is unusable now. I will be working from home until this is resolved. You can reach me on my cell or home phone. Sincerely, Jay Bozer, Vice Chief of Staff.
All right, but still, a security guard leading Rangers? I don't know if I like taking orders from a mall cop.
I don't know what else I'm hoping to find here.
Dylan. Can we talk?
I'd like to tell you about a dream I had last night.
Off to a good start.
Okay. I'm listening.
I was back in Ordinary, before all of this happened. But in the dream, I was alone. It was just me. I was the only child. A girl. My name was Jesse Dylan Faden. But then the Bureau came and caught me, brought me back here, locked me up. Have you ever noticed that our names, Jesse, Dylan, they could be girls' names, boys' names, could be anything. Don't you find that weird? I find that weird.
Sure. What the hell was that? Is he trying to mess with me?
You are a worm through time. The thunderstorm distorts you. Happiness comes.
Maybe Dylan's still in there. Maybe there's a way to reach him.
I'd like to talk to my brother, please. Dylan?
Dylan would like to tell you about a dream he had just now.
This again?
I was going to be the new director of this place. I helped you get a job here so that we could be together. You were an office assistant. You'd make coffee and deliver the mail, and there was always plenty of work to do. And it stayed that way, forever and ever. It was nice. Really nice.
That's debatable.
But here's the strange thing. The dream shifted, and none of it was real anymore. It was a game. We were in a game,
And it was a fucking boring game. But you couldn't stop playing. And then it shifted again. Or maybe it was another dream already. Or maybe I'm just confusing them. But in this other dream, it was more like a musical. This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary town. It's the ordinary story. She worked an ordinary job in an ordinary office. Something. And that's all I can remember of that dream.
Maybe that's for the best.
These are too good.
You are warm through time. The thunder
Maybe some more later.
happiness comes.
Butte Supplement. Butte AWE 17. Details. According to their testimony, the agents have been transported from the Butte home to the roadside motel named the Ocean View Motel and Casino, and discovered a room key by performing a ritual. See file MOT-01. The key opened a door marked with an inverted black pyramid, which they only learned after a lengthy period of trial and error. After pulling another motel cord found inside this room, they were transported to the oldest house. The disappearances of the home's owner and the other locals of Butte have been attributed to this light switch cord. The Ocean View Motel is now known to have many doors and pathways. Since the occurrence, identical light switch cords to the one found in Butte's home have begun appearing throughout the oldest house. At the time of writing, blank cords have been found in the oldest house, located in the blank and blank sectors. These all access the Ocean View Motel, though how exactly this link operates is blank, but initial hypotheses center on the Butte AWE as a blank blank. See Dr. Darling Presentation 24.3 for more details.
During an AWE investigation, our agents discovered a light switch cord in a Butte bungalow closet. They pulled the cord and were instantly transported to the Ocean View Motel and Casino. Dream like haze. Inside, they found a door marked with an inverted black pyramid. And just like that, it led back to the oldest house, some 2,000 miles from Montana. Now we're finding the cord in increasing numbers throughout the Bureau. Somehow the two places, they became in tune to each other. The actual physical location of the Ocean View is a mystery. Stepping beyond its walls has so far proven impossible. A place of power, like the oldest house.
Alright everyone, that is the end of this episode. Give it a like if you enjoyed, it really helps the channel, and I'll see you back next time for episode 6. Till then though, bye bye.